What is up, everybody? STR Q&A. Today we are talking about how to screen guest, how to make sure your Airbnb is protected. I will give you some mistakes that I made, some dumb mistakes that I made, and then what to do to not make those mistakes again. Drop your comments down below. I've got one question. And then if when we have questions, we'll get to them at the end. Drop your comments below. Appreciate everybody for jumping on. Let's get right into it. So, if you are not, let me kind of roll back. If you are not familiar with the breakdown, Wednesday, STR Q&A, 6 p.m. Eastern. Get your questions answered. Let me help you make more money. It's free. I've got a paid thing that happens every other Tuesday for our private community, but this is completely free. I want to get back to the community. And then Fridays, I've got what I'm calling office hours, 1 p.m. Eastern, where I'm diving into a little more advanced topic. It could be listing optimization. It could be strategic partnerships. It could be underwriting deals. It could be price lab setup. So that is more for people that like already have some momentum, maybe have one or two properties. This one is for all skill levels, from beginner to expert. You will be able to learn something here, and I've even learned things from the people that are viewing it, from my students. So it goes both ways. I'm not an expert. This is just my way of giving back and provide value. So let's freaking get into it. Last week we talked about Airbnb on easy mode. If you haven't caught that, go back and watch that one. That was a super interesting one. We talked about Airbnb analytics, what to look for, where to figure out where people are falling off in the booking path. So that one is direct actionable tactics. This one also is going to be tactic driven, but a little bit more strategic with how this is kind of broken down. So how this came up this week, I had a student ask me, hey, how are you vetting guests? How are you making sure your properties are taken care of, right? That is a very, very big elephant in the room that nobody ever talks about. You'll see a video every now and then, but nobody is going to break it down exactly like I'm going to today with how to actually implement this. So there's different ways to think about it. So during the booking process, there's pre-booking and then there's post-booking. There's a little bit of strategy that goes in the post-booking. So like after somebody has actually booked your property, majority of the work is actually pre-booking that nobody ever really thinks about. There's so many things that is going to, guests aren't even going to book your place if you have these things in place because they know that your place is not the party house, because you've already checked a lot of those boxes. So sign a rental agreement. I think this one is the most underrated thing that I think about. I know a ton of hosts that just don't do rental agreements, which freaking blows my mind. If that is you, I would definitely look at putting some type of e-signature in place to get a rental agreement signed. So we also have this. I put this as like pre and post. What I mean, pre-booking and post-booking. So those are kind of the two buckets of when these things actually matter and what will shield and kind of vet those bad guests. So they're not partying at your place; they're partying at somebody else's that aren't watching this video. Get a rental agreement signed. Make sure everything that I'm mentioning today, make sure you put it on your listing as well. Everything that, if I don't specifically mention it, make sure it's on your listing, because if you don't, you could get in trouble if a guest complains. So another one, high prices. So that's I think a very easy one to think about because high prices this is going to deter people immediately. Because if your price is, $300 a night and they want to book it for 2 nights and party there, like that's a pretty expensive property, right? It's not a, $79 a night property that you're just going in and you don't care what happens. So high prices immediately kind of shields those guests. Now, that's not all. You're not going to shield all the guests, because if they're bringing, planning to bring 20 people, $300 a night split 20 ways is still very, very cheap. Extra guest fees. So this is an underrated one as well. We strategically have this on some listings. Um, Most of our listings do not have this. Man, I could do a. I don't want to get into all the strategy there. I'll save that because that's some real gems. But most of our properties do not have this. On occasion, we will put this extra guest fee once again to deter um, party potential problem guests. It's not all party guests; it's just problem guests. Somebody doesn't have to have 15, 20 people at the place to be a problem guest. It could just be somebody who complains about literally everything. Hey, this hair dryer the cord wasn't folded up. This pillow wasn't exactly straight. If you've had enough reservations, you are going to get those. All right, lots of rules. So this is an interesting one. Um, I I don't like a lot of rules, although we have a lot of rules, and we used to start out with no rules on our listings, and then as we saw more and more guests, we've probably hosted, I don't know, 5, 10,000 guests at this point. We're adding rules every month. It seems like it's like, holy crap, I didn't know I needed a rule for that. Like, that is a dumb rule, but I didn't specifically have that listed. So now we're updating all 30, 40 properties house rules. So having a lot of rules. This is also in the pre-booking phase, because if a problem guest sees all these rules, they're going to immediately think like you're on your P's and Q's, you got everything buttoned up, you're a professional host, you're not just a mom and pop that is doing this as a side hobby, because you got told that this was passive income. Once again, another complete different video. Luis, number one, yes, thanks for watching, Luis. Lots of rules. So once again, a pre-booking tactic strategy. So a lot of these you'll see is pre-booking. So we haven't even talked about vetting the guest yet and after booking and things like that. It's all pre-booking. Actually, this is a good one that I didn't think about until just now. So vetting guest messages. That is, oh man, that's a very, very easy one, I think, because if you can kind of read between the lines. If they're asking for a discount, if they're asking for, hey, I might have some additional friends over, being very coy and vague, and I'm not sure if my 12 dogs are coming, like I might bring a cat, I might not. You can, if you've done it long enough, you can kind of start spotting these red flags. So the guest messaging, because we always ask every guest whenever they book a message or whenever they send us a message, it's, hey, what brings you to Charlotte? What brings you to the Poconos? What brings you to Myrtle Beach? Vetting those guest messages. And that is a big, big indicator, because if somebody says I'm coming here for a birthday party, hang on, red flag. Let's make sure this person is not having a party. Now, if it's a 80-year-old birthday party, okay, Granny, you're good. I don't think you guys are going to get too wild and crazy. Just make sure you shut the lights off by 9 p.m. So betting guest messaging. I think another big one, damage waiver. This is something that is becoming more and more popular, but nobody really talks about it. What I mean by damage waiver is, I'll list some. Are you guys getting value? Drop your comments down below. Thumbs up. Give me something. See 7 people on right now. Appreciate everybody for watching. So damage waiver. Now, this is not your homeowner's insurance policy. So on your property, you should have STR specific homeowners insurance policy. This is not that. That's worst case scenario, our last, what we call layer of defense. You've got a lot of steps before you ever get to the homeowner's insurance policy. So kind of the layers of defense. Air cover, everybody knows about air cover. It's gotten worse and worse. Honestly, I can't remember the last time we ever had to use air cover. We use our damage waiver on, I would probably say 95% of our guest damages. And, we've seen, I don't know, probably 90% success rate with getting those recouped. and the guest pays for it, so it's not any additional cost for us or our owners or partners. The guest just it's lumped into the accommodation fare. So to name a few, Guesty Protection is the one that we use since we're integrated with Guesty. Wavo, Safely, Superhog, a couple other big ones, but those are to name a few. So once again, not your homeowner's insurance policy. Now this is not a pre-booking thing. This is a post-booking thing. So we do everything up front, or mostly all the work up front before the guest books. And then even in the event that one, bad apple slips through, damages some things, this is like on the post side that we have to still protect our investment, our property, our Airbnb. So the damage waiver, it's a non-deductible thing. So like, let's say, somebody breaks, who knows, a lamp, a table, stains a coffee table, spills some wine on a sofa or whatever. Like we can claim that. There's no like deductible. There's limits. I think our limits maybe $5 to $10,000 total, and we've had like a couple $1,000 occurrences that we've got claimed. I think our biggest one was maybe like $2 to $3,000. So it definitely comes in handy. So that's enough for the damage waiver. Super valuable, super underrated. Security deposit. This is something that I go back and forth with. Security deposit. It's important, but with the new Airbnb rules that have rolled out over the past couple of weeks, if you haven't, definitely check those out. We're implementing a lot of things internally. I will be talking more about that in the future. If that's a video you would like to see, just let me know in the comments. But security deposit, you are technically, I think now you're not allowed to create a security deposit. We still have, I haven't really heard otherwise from Airbnb. We're also API integrated, so I think we're exempt from a lot of those new rules. Once again, I'll do a complete video on that. Security deposit. This kind of rides on a lot of the, this is pre and post booking, because pre-booking, once again, you need to have this security deposit on your listing if you are going to charge it. Otherwise, you will be penalized and you won't be able to do it. And you're going to piss a guest off and it's going to end up in a bad review. So make sure you have it on the listing. Now, if they still don't want to do a security deposit, then as long as it's on your listing, you're buttoned up, you are good to go. If a guest does not want to do a security deposit, then they can cancel, and our cancellation policy will apply. Or if you want to give them an exception to get them off the books, feel free to override that. Make sure it's verified on the listing, like I mentioned. So a little bit of before and after booking. How much security deposit? I think this is a good question. We will do anywhere from $250 to $1,000 security deposit. It's refundable, so we do that to give them some skin in the game. So that way, if something does happen, then we can pull it from their security deposit. Honestly, I would probably say of the security deposits that we've done, I mean, we've probably done, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40. I would say maybe one time we've ever had to pull a security deposit. Once again, it's just a vetting piece on the front end strategically that people, if they are going to party and you have a security deposit and you charge them, they're not booking your place or they're canceling, and you don't know what you don't know. They're partying, down the street at mom and pop's house. So security deposit, very, very powerful one. I would probably say the most powerful one here, second to like the damage waiver. And then prior guest reviews. I think this is probably what all hosts look at, but nobody really acts on it. And there's a lot of new guest profiles where they don't have any reviews. Like, it could be a great guest, it could be a terrible guest. We don't really know. So we can't rely solely on the prior guest reviews. Now, if they've got five-star reviews, like, okay, cool, you're good to go. You're in town for a friend's baby shower. Cool, you're done. Like, you're good to go. That is also it's actually pre and post booking, because we've actually, probably not the the best way to do it with Airbnb rules right now is we've done like, okay, if you have under one review, then we charge this amount. If you have anywhere from 2 to 5 reviews, we charge this amount for like a security deposit. Anything, if you have like one negative review, we charge X amount. So there's like if then things that we do here based on their guest reviews. So it incentivizes them, and obviously, once again, make sure it's on your listing. All right, so that I know was a lot. Hopefully that was helpful because these are actually mistakes that I've made. And man, we used to not take damage waivers. I would never take a reservation without it. Air cover is just brutal. Hopefully you are not solely relying on it. Now, for us, we do still use air cover, but it's few and far between. It's only when things are not covered by our damage waiver, like specific pet things, not covered, but air cover will. There's some other kind of nuances here. I won't go into details there. But if you have questions, I will give this another 5 seconds. Drop them down below. Otherwise, we will wrap up. I've got a concert I'm going tonight, and I just finished a run, so hopefully nobody saw the sweat on my shirt. No comments? No questions? Eileen, thanks for your question. Are you charging guest for waiver? Yes, 100%. Guesty includes this in the accommodation fare. They just lump it into the accommodation fare. So let's say it's $30 a reservation, and we charge 200 bucks a night. That nightly rate will be $230 to the guest. And I could probably actually do a complete training on this. Airbnb is upgrading all the accounts, all the listings to all-inclusive fees. So that way now I think they're forcing hosts to like it doesn't matter what fees you have, it's lumped into the nightly rate. So it doesn't matter if your cleaning fee is $0 or $500. The total amount is the total amount. I think they actually rolled that out this week to where every host has all-inclusive fees. You can just go to your listing just to verify. But yes, Eileen, to answer your question, we are charging the guest for the waiver. So it's not something that we pay or our owners pay or anything like that. The guest is paying it. We've strategically done this to where we're not like hiding it from the guests. When things break, like honest guests, like, hey, I broke this table. Like, what? Let me know where I can buy a new one. Yada yada. We actually using it as a pro to where we're like, hey, don't worry about it. Like we've got you covered. We've got a protection plan, insurance plan that's no deductible. Like we are not going to charge you for that. Guarantee that is a 5-star review waiting to happen. So we actually use that as a huge advantage. I would encourage you to do the same thing. Great question, Eileen. Any follow-ups to that one? Luis, couple comments there. Appreciate Luis for jumping on. I mean, we have 10 people. Let's go. Questions? Airbnb, how it can help you make more money, get more bookings, pay your mortgage off. Like, one thing, it's pretty cool season that we're in. We're in most of my markets. We're ending slow season, going into summer season, and man, the bookings are starting to roll in. Hopefully, everybody else is seeing the same thing. June, July, August have been really good months in our market. So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe to this channel. I actually haven't mentioned that in the past. Thank you, guys.